Hey, episode 6, man. We are here. My boy Jay, what's happening, bro?
What's happening, my boy? What's happening, man? Another week of football, and we get into the real of it next week with the week one. But what we got today, my boy?
No. Before we jump into that, though, bro, how is your Sunday treating you?
Hey, man, Sunday's good. Just chilling. Probably gonna do some laundry later. Get ready for the work week. You know how we all get. But mainly just chilling. Gonna grab some good eats later. But
Ooh,
what
what's
about
on the
you?
menu, bro?
Damn, Chick-fil-A is not open today, unfortunately. Or that'd be my first choice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Probably gonna have to hit up the Mickey D's today, bro.
Mickey D's. I don't know what I'm having, man. I don't know. I kind of like low key in the mood for like some Mexican food. I ain't gonna lie. That
That
low key
sound
sounds kind of
good.
fire.
With some what, like some tacos or a burrito or something?
Yeah, some taqueria stuff for sure.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Yes,
But
sir. All right, man.
you already
Well,
know.
just to kind of before we start, man, it's the topics we're gonna cover for today, man. We're gonna obviously the famous point after report. Uh,
Hey, the most important topic on this show.
yeah,
Let's not forget that.
yeah. And some recap week 3 of the preseason. Just talk some Niners and Raiders football. Our
Yes,
top
sir.
10 quarterbacks list and some big week 1 matchups. So, my man, take it away, bro.
All right, man. So let's start off with the point after report. You guys know how we do it. You know what I'm saying, man. So the Cardinals, Zay Jones, unfortunately suspended for the first 5 games of the regular season for violating the personal conduct policy. A big hit because they already are kind of stiff there. And, depth wise with the Cardinals, it's already looking iffy. They're already in rebuild mode. So that's definitely not a good look. But it's only 5 games. So you're going to get him back eventually. But how are we feeling about this?
Uh, yeah, definitely some tough news to start the season for the Cardinals. This is a team that obviously they need all the talent they can get, and to not have Zay Jones, who's clearly going to be one of the most important offensive weapons this year. But I have him the first 5 games of the season. That's tough. But unfortunately, these kind of stuff happens sometimes, man. It is what it is. I guess, for Kyler Murray now, he has to figure out, who he's going to go to, obviously.
You just got to dump it at Harrison at this point. Just toss it to my boy. Just give him all the targets
Yeah.
at this point.
And also, too, underrated tight end McBride as well.
For sure.
Yeah, they moved on from Zach Ertz, what was it, a few years ago because McBride was an emerging young tight end. So you talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. and McBride. Those are those are going to be the two main guys now for sure.
Yeah, it's just that defense. And I got to keep them in the game, and it's gonna be tough for them to pick up some wins. You know what I mean?
Hey, but hold on. Like I said, I always show respect to former Raiders. Shout out to Zay Jones because he did ball that 1 year with the Raiders. I obviously got him that big contract with Jacksonville. Now is obviously with the Cardinals. But
That's true. That's true. I remember
respect
that
to
season.
Zay. Respect to Zay.
Respect to Zay, man, but 5 games, so he'll be back quick. He'll be back quick. And
Yeah.
then we got 6 days ago, Justin Herbert out of that boot, and he is back at practice since the first time since July. So some good news there. Herbert working back. He's got another week until the regular season, so I think it's going to work out well for him working up to the season.
Yeah, 100%. At the end of the day, it's good that he's returned to practice. That he's sure getting really close to 100%. No question, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he is the main chess piece for Jim Harbaugh and this organization. So glad to see him that he's back in action. Unfortunately for him, coming up in a few weeks, he will be getting his first loss of the season. But hey, glad to see him back.
Hey, that matchup looks a little closer
Nah,
now
buddy.
since Herbert's back.
Nah,
You
buddy.
don't got stick in that quarterback. Okay, let's not forget that. It's not
We
just an
ain't worried
easy
about them
win.
dudes. Hey, we ain't worried about them cats in LA, man.
Hey man, just better hope your defense could stop them and your quarterback could figure out a way to score because it ain't just gonna be going to Devontae. Brock better be getting open. What's his Zamir better be getting his carries. So we'll see. We'll
Trey
see.
Tucker,
Trey Tucker,
Jacoby Myers. Yeah, don't
Jacoby
forget,
Myers,
bruh.
sir.
We got a squad, bruh. All right, yeah.
Chargers do got a Slightly good defense though. Very underrated a little bit. But
Yeah, they ain't doing nothing this year. Anyways,
moving
next,
on, moving on.
all right, just to talk. Next, man, Mr. Bo Nix is a starting quarterback in the new Sean Payton era in Denver.
Yes, sir.
Congrats to Bo Nix. Yeah, I respect him, and he's been playing really well in the preseason. They
Absolutely.
obviously took him that high for a reason. They believe in him, and he's been playing great. You know, they've traded for Zach Wilson in the offseason. They have Jarrett Stidham there as well, who signed a decent contract coming over from the Raiders. In fact, so it was some like quarterback competition, but shout out to Bo Nix. He beat those guys out, and it's the Bo Nix era in Denver.
It's the Bo Nix era, and I think it was the smartest move to be honest. Stidham, I don't think is a sustainable QB1. QB2, I think he's great. Zach Wilson clearly lost the QB2 competition because I think they're gonna put Stidham there. So Zach Wilson's looking at number 3, unfortunately. But Bo Nix, man, he's gonna be carrying these guys on their back, man. The wide receiver room looks a bit light. Running
Hmm.
game, still got Javante Williams, so I wouldn't worry. But in terms of Bo Nix, you just got to look to improve this season. You just got to look to do the best you can, get it to your guys, make the smart reads, and just take care of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bo Nix is gonna have to worry too bad because I think Denver's gonna get a point in the season where they're not winning a lot of games. They're just gonna pack it in, not be good. You know, top 5 draft pick, right? So,
Get him a guy or get a guy to protect him at this. You know,
nah, in all seriousness, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's rookie season. I've talked a little bit about how Sean Payton is that quarterback whisperer. I think he's gonna learn a lot from Sean Payton, and yeah, you're right. They're gonna have to build this team from the front, the offensive line. Start getting him some weapons. Obviously, Jerry Judy's gone. You've got Cortland Sutton. Um, okay. You got
Josh Reynolds. Eh,
yeah, Javante Williams, but again, he's coming off a pretty tough injury. I believe it was 2 years ago now.
that's right.
So I mean, yeah, it's a rebuilding team. Obviously, Justin Simmons is long gone. He's in Atlanta now. It's a team that's this is a project for Mr. Sean Payton.
Yeah, it's going to be his team for years to come, I think, and
Yeah,
I think it'll be like 3 4 years till we'll see the full product. You know.
yeah, 100%.
But moving on, Bengals former second round pick, offensive lineman Jackson Carman, 24 years old, and go ahead and release that boy. What's going on there? It just looks like on film he just didn't turn out to be the guy that they thought he would be.
Yeah, release that boy is crazy. Um,
Hey, I saw the film, man. His it was
yeah,
definitely questionable, and there was definitely reasons for it. So
yeah. Look, at the end of the day, we know about the issues the Bengals offensive line has had. Even even going back to the when they made that Super Bowl run against the Rams, like even when they got to the Super Bowl, like Joe
yeah,
Burrow was still like throughout that season. I think he was one of the most highly pressured quarterbacks and sack quarterbacks in the
running
NFL.
for his life every single play.
And that's just a credit to how great of a quarterback Joe Burrow is. But yeah, the Bengals they're still trying to put this offensive line puzzle together. Um, we look at Orlando Brown. He got that big contract from Kansas City to come over here in Cincinnati, and he wasn't a great first season for him. Then on the other side, you got Trent Brown, who again signed a big contract, and I believe that he's not 100% in camp right now, as well. So yeah, this offensive line still after these last few years still needs to kind of put it together. So yeah, the task clearly in Cincy is to figure out, who are going to be the guys that can protect Mr. Burrow, man, because they don't got Joe, as you saw last year. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a struggle without Joe, and you obviously need to protect your number one guy, and that's what
Hmm.
it is. So hopefully,
Joe Shiesty, man, protect Mr. Shiesty.
hey, when you protect Mister Shiesty, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, flat out.
Top two?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I'm gonna
Okay,
hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that, bro.
hold it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Next topic. Shout out to Mr. Creed Humphrey.
Hey,
Signing a 4-year, $72 million extension, 50 million guaranteed. Well deserved. I think widely regarded, especially now with Jason Kelsey retiring, the best center in football.
Yep.
Since day one, since he's come to this team, he's been outstanding. Um, so yeah, I mean, also as well, Trey Smith, the guard who plays next to him as well, he's due for an extension as well.
Mhm.
So the Chiefs, you talk about teams, right? You look at kind of Cincinnati, their offensive line issues. Look what the Chiefs did when they lost to the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, and they had a hard time protecting Mahomes in that game. They went out and drafted Humphrey. They
Yep.
went out and got Trey Smith, two like now stalwarts on that offensive line. The Jawan Taylor situation at tackle, not coming off a great year, first year with the Chiefs. I think he was the most penalized offensive lineman, I believe, in football. It's either him or Donovan Smith, the other tackle that was
Right.
there. So, uh, so yeah, they got to figure that out. But definitely, shout out to Creed Humphrey. Well deserved, man. Arguably, if he's not number one, he's number two for sure.
No, I mean, I definitely say he's number one. I mean, two-time Pro Bowler. Consistency will get you paid, and I will continue to say that. Some of these guys, I would say, asking too much money for
My
a
man
one
hates. Hey, my man
a
hates
one
for people.
year a, a 1 year thing. I don't know. It's basically taking a flyer on a guy essentially,
Hey,
because the
man.
next year he could completely fall off, and that's been shown before. So, but
Yeah.
you look at it though. In 22, he gave up 0 sacks. In 21, only 1 sack. His previous year, he only gave up 4 sacks, and doesn't um, cost you many penalties either. So a great signing. You got to protect your guys. We say this consistently. So Chiefs did the smart move here. Very great move and very well deserved.
100%, man. You want to talk about Persol? You
Yeah.
know, a
So
little update though. You want to, yeah,
little
breaking
update
news.
to add to it. Little update to add to it. But a rumor per Mike Siver. Niners. Apparently they knew about Ricky's shoulder issues prior to the draft, which is like it's it just screamed to me a Trent Baalke move by the Niners. That was a Trent Baalke move, just picking injured guys. Why?
Excuse me.
Why? When you
Oh
know you
shit.
could have went other ways too. Like what the Raiders did, you guys went Jackson Powers Johnson. Niners definitely needed an O
Hey,
lineman there.
he's gonna be elite.
Niners definitely needed to add somebody to that O line. And what do? You get a receiver and you don't have a second round pick for a minute. And then the next pick they went with the corner Green. They could have went with better guys. You know what I mean? If you wanted a corner, if they wanted a corner, you could have went with better guys in that earlier slot. Precise Persol, like Cooper DeJean, Kool Aid, Kamari,
Kool Aid
Milton.
McKinstry, man. That's a cold ass. That's a cold name, man. Kool
What
Aid
am I?
McKinstry. That's fire.
Besides the name, he's a cold ass player too. But
Yeah, he's
like at
cold.
the end
No,
of
he
the
is. He is.
day, Niners could have went so many different routes. The smarter route, may I add, rather rather than just adding Persol with the previous injury too.
Yeah.
But let me slow down a bit with the update. Kyle reports that Ricky will practice tomorrow, but with him practicing, he's had a reoccurring injury off those practices. So hopefully he can stay healthy, stay in it, ramp up for this last week to the season. Hopefully we'll see him week one. I just don't think it was the smartest move at all by the Niners at all. When you could have went a way smarter and better route. I think they also reached. I like Mitchell, the guy that the Colts got, uh, better wide receiver than Persol in my opinion. But that's just me.
Yeah, I was laughing at the beginning because I remember episode one when you talked about Persol. You were like, "Not a good pick." it just
Not a good
it just
pick.
give me flashbacks to that moment, bro. That's so funny, man.
It's just not, man. Like I mean, you could justify it with the whole Ayuk situation, but technically Ayuk is still on contract. He's just holding out for money.
Yeah,
So, and clearly you're having issues with Trent and your O line. So, drafting a O lineman could have also helped your situation, but it's neither here nor there. But that's that.
uh, yeah. It is what it is, man. Moving on. So Mr. Mike Evans needs 1,000 receiving yards to tie the goat, the real goat, Mr. Jerry Rice, for the longest streak in NFL history with 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
That is
Um, I feel like with Mike Evans, like yes, we know he's the lead, but I don't feel like he's talked as like one of the elite like he's not like when you think of Mike Evans, he's not really in like the top 3 or top 5 receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind
I
of
hear
like
you. He's
he's
kinda
always
like he's just the consistent guy, you know,
yeah,
he's just gonna be that guy every year, but he's not one of those top guys who's gonna go for 2,000 or near 2,000 yards, you know, over 15,000 yards. But he's still gonna get you consistent numbers. I just think the problem with him, with not him receiving his credit, is he's hasn't had those big time quarterbacks besides Brady. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. He had what Jameis. Now he's had Baker Mayfield. So but yeah, man. I mean, respect to Mike Evans. The
Yeah,
consistency these guys had since day one. I remember the going back to the draft night. Was it 2014? 20 was it 2014, 2015?
a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember it was for the Raiders, right? It was either Mike Evans or Khalil Mack. Now, I'm thankful for Khalil Mack because he was an All Pro, and
Absolutely.
at his peak, Khalil Mack was like a top 2, top 3 defensive player in
For sure.
football. But I mean, just that's just a little funny thing. But nah, shout out to Mike Evans, man. He's one of the best of our generation. The consistency he's had, he's gonna be in Canton when it's all said and done. So
Yeah, and
shout out to
and
Mike Evans.
for sure, and to, like, tie Jerry Rice with
That's insane, bro.
11 with
That's crazy
11
work.
consecutive seasons
Excuse me.
is you just need to give him props, you know what I mean? And I'll never stop giving him props, you know?
Nah, that's crazy. To be in any conversation with Jerry Rice, that bro, that's
That's
crazy.
what I mean. I
That's
feel like
insane.
he doesn't get the credit he deserves, man, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with guys like, you know, Jefferson, you know, guys we talk about all the time, Devontae, you know. I feel like Mike
Hmm.
Evans is always left off the conversation.
No, 100%. But Mike Evans is like that. He's like
Mhm. He is like that.
that. For sure.
Please. Please. And Darren Bland, man, you wanna talk about this one?
Yeah, Darren Bland, man. Just obviously tough news for Mr. Darren Bland, undergoing surgery. He has to repair a stress fracture in his foot. He's gonna miss 6 to 8 weeks.
Not the
That's
whole
tough.
season.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, I know a lot of in the news has been about some of the Niners like contract issues, and a lot of focus has been on them. But you look at the Cowboys, I feel like they're kind of in a similar, even worse boat because this is someone who's gonna miss time. You know, this
Yep.
is 2 months. So look, he's developed already into one of the best corners in football, opposite, excuse me, of Trayvon Diggs, and now not to have that opposite, that's tough. And obviously the CD Lamb situation still hangs over the head. Michael Parsons, that still hangs over the head. And obviously the most important is that Dak Prescott. So it's a lot going. A lot of people saying there's a lot going on with the Niners right now off the field. There's a lot going on in Dallas as
Yeah.
well. But this is tough. At the end of the day, like we say for all these guys, just wishing for a speedy recovery. It sucks to see this
Right.
kind of stuff, especially before the season even starts. So
Right
it's a
before,
it's
especially.
100%. And this is like it's 100%. It's a big blow to Dallas. Excuse me,
Yeah,
because he's developed already into one of the most important and best players.
for sure. And just the whole drama with the Cowboys in general, like you said, with the Prescott situation, with the CD situation, there's a lot of things they need to hash out. So they need to get it together there in Dallas. You know, man.
100%.
Uh, but moving on, my boy Dotson traded
Dotson, Jahan.
to the Eagles for a third round pick and two seventh round picks. Excuse me. Um, I think that's a great move on the Eagles' part. That wide receiver room is deeper. I think they were missing that one extra guy, and Dotson could be that one extra guy. They still got Devontae, got AJ, you got Saquon now. Ooh.
And
And
Dallas Goddard.
so and Dallas Goddard. I was just about to say that. Let me not forget Dallas Goddard. But that offense is still very, very lethal, and will they're gonna put up some points, man. And I think that was a great move on their part. Bad move on the Commanders' part. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah. I just think like Howie Roseman is probably like the best like GM in football. Like he's up there. Like for me, Brett Veach, I'll probably say is number one because of obviously the Super Bowls and the success they've had recently. But Howie Roseman, the trades he pulls off, the
Right.
signings, the draft picks who fall into their laps,
They get some good
like
guys over there.
no, it's crazy. Shout out to Howie Roseman and pulling off. This is I think this is definitely a steal for them. Obviously, this past season he did have a bit of a down season compared to his first year. In 2022, he did go for 523 yards, excuse me, in 12 games. And the thing about it was he averaged 15 yards at completion.
It's like,
So yeah, there's no doubt he's a deep threat. His rookie year he was outstanding and really came on the scene. Like I said, this past season wasn't great, but I think now he's in a situation where AJ Brown is going to get a lot of attention. Devontae Smith's going to get a lot of attention. Saquon Barkley's going to get a lot of attention. Dallas Goedert's going to get a lot of attention. He can do his thing and be that deep threat that can take the top off the defense. So
right.
this is fantastic for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And
Um,
to add on real quick, that reminds me of the Bears offense real quick with a Dunzy and Keenan and
yeah,
DJ. It just gives guys more space and it gives guys more opportunities.
yeah, because at the end of the day, you got to have someone who can take the top off the defense. Because if all your receivers are the same, like it's kind of easy to game plan against that as a defense. Like if you just have route runners and guys who can they can get open, but they're not speed burners, you can press up on a lot of guys.
That's
But
right.
it's like going back to when the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill. Like yes, there's Travis Kelsey in the middle, but you got Tyreek. So a lot of teams will play so far deep
Yep.
because of Tyreek Hill's speed that it would open up for Travis Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And then there's all the other receivers they have on their football team. So you need these kind of guys. I talked about it a little bit with Trey Tucker too. So yeah, solid move for the Eagles, and Howie Roseman does it again.
As you said, man, solid move. And another solid move here for the Falcons. AJ Terrell signs 4-year, $81 million extension, 65 million guaranteed. Second highest corner in NFL history. Well deserved contract, I think, and it just attests to the Falcons very making the moves of going all in and making a good run this year. And that defense is disgusting with Justice Simmons. You know, you already got the offense, so
Yeah, Captain
Falcons
Kirk,
looking real
man.
deep.
Nah,
Falcons looking real deep.
It's Atlanta Kirk now, man. Nah, Kirk Cousins is dope, bro. Kirk Cousins is dope.
Kirk Cousins is icy,
Um,
bro.
yeah, his aura is crazy. Um, yeah, shout out to AJ Terrell. Look at what Atlanta's done in the last week or so, bringing in Matthew Judon. Talked about just adding Justin Simmons. Now they just extended AJ Terrell, who they obviously he's one of their own, right? He's part of that nucleus and that culture um, that they've built. So shout out to him, man. And like you said, second highest paid cornerback in NFL history. Well deserved, man. He
Absolutely,
is one of the elites for sure.
for sure. And then next we got here, man. Unfortunate news: Nate Herbig, starter center for the Steelers, suffered a torn rotator cuff, and he's expected to miss quite some time. That's some unfortunate news considering Steelers already having an O-line problem. But
Hmm.
this isn't good going into the season, especially week one. You know, you hate these quick injuries like that. It's unfortunate, and I think Steelers are definitely going to struggle this year.
Yeah. So like losing a center is kind of tough, especially for the quarterback, because the center and the quarterback, like the quarterback obviously sees the whole field, and his job is to obviously like if you need to change the audible, get guys in certain spots, you know what I'm saying? But the center is the one who organizes, right, the offensive line. So not having that starter there, that center who you know is going to be there from week one and he's not there, that could create some chemistry issues, right? Communication problems, and especially with the quarterback, right? Because like I said, the quarterback and center, they're always in tune. So it's tough, and especially with this Steelers team that I think has aspirations of doing some good things come playoff time. This isn't good because you need all the offensive line help you need, especially because of Russell Wilson in his last few years. People can debate if he's the same guy or he's declined. That's up for interpretation. Justin Fields as well, extremely he's still extremely raw as a prospect. So you need good offensive lines around these two guys. So tough break.
100%. You need to protect your guys, and you know this is unfortunate news. Hopefully, speedy recovery there.
100%.
But moving on, man, to the preseason. That's gonna end the point after reports. The best topic on this goddamn show. But we're gonna move on to the preseason week 3 recap. The games that we don't mention, the second and third stringers got a lot of time. There wasn't much to cover, so we're just gonna skip past those and just pick out some notable things from the games that did matter. So let's move. Let's move on. So Jaguars versus the Falcons. Jaguars pick up a blowout W, 31-0. Trevor, he had two great drives. 8 for 10, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing the consistency. We like that. You always want to finish off drives with the weapons he has, and Brian Thomas Jr. Think it's a good look going into the season. But besides him, Mac Jones looking good as a backup. I think 13 for 18, 113 yards and a touchdown. I think he just looks more calm, just more poised here in Jacksonville than he did prior in New England. So I think it was a better change of scenery for him. But if I don't wish injury upon anybody, if Trevor Lawrence goes down, Mac Jones, I think, could definitely keep the Jaguars in contention.
Yes, sir. Big Mac. Look, I think this is an opportunity for Mac Jones. Obviously, the New England situation, it didn't work out to how everyone thought it was going to be post the Tom Brady era. But now he has a chance to really sit back and like dissect the game and really learn the game, and especially sitting behind a young, really good quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. I think this could be good for Mac Jones. So yeah, Mac Jones looks solid. Like you said, um, for me, I'm gonna be really interested to see like with Trevor Lawrence, like, are we gonna see the Trevor Lawrence that we saw the back half of the season last year, or are we gonna see Trevor Lawrence really, how he kind of played throughout the season where it was a little rocky and up and down. But again, there's no denying his talent. I think Trevor Lawrence is, still one of the better quarterbacks in football, but he's kind of had some inconsistencies since he's came in. So hopefully he's more consistent because I talked about the Steelers, potentially being a team that can sneak in a wild card. The Jaguars are one of those teams as well. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. But shout out also to Trayvon Walker was
yep.
notable with the defense.
Mm-hmm.
2 tackles, 1 for a loss, and then a sack.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons offense couldn't get going at all. They went 1 for 10 on third down, as
Mm-hmm.
we previously spoke about. Falcons have had these issues on third down. Hopefully, it doesn't carry into the regular season with the starters. I think they'll be a little better with the consistency there, but just something to look at.
Yeah, Trayvon Walker, man, first overall pick, came in extremely raw and talented. This is the year I think that they're expecting him to really really blossom alongside Josh Allen, the pass rusher, not Josh Allen, the quarterback. It's crazy because like on PS5, right, I'm playing Madden, and I was searching up Josh Allen, and I'm like, this Josh Allen, bro, he don't look like this, bro. But then I
But it's not
realized, oh
him.
snap.
It's
I
not
was like, oh,
him.
there's two Josh Allens now, but in all seriousness, bro. Um, yeah, I think this is the year for Trayvon Walker, man, for sure.
For sure. And then what we got next,
Yeah,
my man?
yeah, we got Carolina versus Buffalo. Carolina pulling out the win, 31-26. You know, uh, good to see my guy Bryce Young, man. You know, I really want Bryce Young to exceed, bro. Like I
Yeah,
think he's
man.
super talented, man. We know what he did at Alabama. I mean, and he showed flashes, right? But clearly, this team is still rebuilding. They're still figuring out the pieces to put around him. Obviously, no coaching staff coming in. Dave Canales coming over from Tampa Bay, but he was efficient and looked really solid. 6 for 8, 70 yards, threw a touchdown. Carolina, though, they do have some running the ball deficiencies, right? That's something
Yep.
that's going to be definitely a question mark because, whatever happened to Miles Sanders?
I
I
mean,
remember they.
he's still there, right? But he's just not having no impact, and I don't think he's gotten too much playing time this preseason. So
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, he's there, right? But are you going to get a productive running game? I don't think so.
Yeah, because Miles Sanders, man, remember in Philly, he
And the
was
Eagles,
balling.
yeah, no, he was really good when he
Um,
was with the Eagles.
yeah, and obviously Carolina gave him that contract, rightly deserved. But yeah, I mean, I just haven't heard from him. Like, I don't know what was going on.
It's unfortunate
Um,
he's been non-existent.
yeah,
Unfortunate to say, but yeah,
yeah, and then this is a little like it's kind of a nostalgia for some old school fans, man. Frank
yeah,
Gore
man.
Jr., man, he
Shout
was
out.
he was phenomenal, man. 18 carries, 101 yards, touchdown, average 5.5. Was it yards per carry? I
Yep,
mean,
yep,
that's sensational, and it was dope to see Frank Gore's pops there. It was kind of like,
yeah.
dang, like it kind of makes you feel old a little bit. It's
Right? No,
crazy.
I remember him signing my jersey, man. Shout out Frank Gore, but it's
Yeah,
good to see his son. I was hoping the Niners would draft him.
take him.
Unfortunately,
That would have
they
been
didn't see him.
crazy. That
It
would have
would have
been
been. It would have been.
crazy.
I heard they definitely scouted him along with Brendan Rice, who went to the Chargers. But you know, some some guys, end up in different places. It pertains to the how they play. You know, how they fit into the offense and everything. Can't just end up on the same team just because your pops was.
Yeah, that's true though. That's true. But that would have
Yeah,
been that would
but
have been
it's
crazy. Could you
but
imagine a jersey sales? That would have been crazy.
no, the Niners would have went real quick with the jersey sales with that one. But it's good. It's good to see him having a good game. Like he's having
Yeah.
an impact out there. Buffalo, still got James Cook as your starter, but it's good to see some depth in that running back room, right?
100%.
100%. And then just want to touch on to Corey Couch. It was notable for the Buffalo defense getting 10 total tackles along with the sack. It's just good to see those guys flashing in that defense. So just a notable thing from that game.
Mhm. It's talk about your boy Hendon Hooker, man.
Hey,
You
he
got on
was.
me. I think what it was either the last episode or episode 4. You got on me about Hendon Hooker, man.
Hey
Let me hear
man,
you talk about Mr. Hooker, man.
hey man, Hendon Hooker, man, he played good. I think the quarterback who was in before him, I believe it was Jake Form.
Yeah,
Couldn't really
Jake
get
Fromm. Jake
Yeah,
Fromm.
couldn't really get the offense going. Couldn't finish drives. They weren't scoring in the beginning of the game, but as soon as Hendon Hooker came in, he made an impact. 114 yards, one touchdown. Unfortunately, did throw an interception. Got to protect that ball, but he's notable on the ground too. 10 carries, 93 yards. Moving away from Jared Goff, maybe in a year or so, Hooker looks like. Well, let me not just say.
Hey, hold
I
on,
just, I
man.
just, I
Hold
just, I
on,
just, I just,
man.
I just think if Goff don't come through this year, they may want to move off of
Hey,
him. Am I wrong?
hey,
If Jared,
man,
if Jared Goff
man,
don't come through
nah,
this year,
man.
they don't,
Jared
they don't
Goff,
want to move off of him.
Jared Goff already got too much money in the bank, man. He's been balling ever since he's gotten there.
Could
I
be
think
traded,
Hendon Hooker
but
could be, yeah, for the future, but I'm not talking. I'm talking maybe 3, 4 years down the line because Jared Goff ain't what he
maybe.
30, 31, like what I'm saying, he's 40 or something. So, but I see how you try to sneak in that little Jared Goff thing, man. Nice try.
No, but I just do like Hooker as a talent wise and with his upside in that offense. I like it.
Yeah,
I just like
yeah,
it.
for sure.
But just shout out to him. I think he was the only thing notable from that game. Pittsburgh, uh, Fields couldn't get going. I don't think he had too much playing time either. And same with Russell Wilson. And not really many starters played. So shout out Hendon Hooker for being the guy for that game, huh?
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans. They pulled out the win against the New Orleans Saints. Pops is not going to be happy about that, but who cares?
Yeah, it's all
Uh,
right.
yeah, 30-27. Will Levis, man. Mr. Will Levis, he's been looking sharp, man. Obviously, what was it? What we talked about? Was it the DeAndre Hopkins, his situation, right?
Yeah,
Is
you
he?
got that injury.
Yeah. So that remains to be seen how that's going to play out. But He was solid. What 7 for 8, 118 yards. Um, Look, he's clearly the guy in Tennessee. He really played well down the stretch of the season last year. And hopefully with the D Hop situation gets worked out because we talked about Calvin Ridley being a big signing for them, but I think having both of them together will make Will Levis's job that much easier.
Right.
Got to see Malik Willis play. He is incredibly raw, obviously. Um, at this point, he is a backup. It's interesting to see how this season kind of plays out in his future. With this
Right.
team.
Especially
Uh,
if they want to commit to Levis long term. Like, do you move on from Malik and see if you get something in return? Because he's still got upside. He's promising. It's not like he's nothing.
how similar do you feel like Malik Willis and Trey Lance are?
Oh, they're very similar. Yeah, I think there were like a lot of comparisons when Malik was coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're very similar. I just feel like they need reps and opportunities. They're too raw. They need to play
Mhm.
in games. Attest to what RG3 said about Lance this past week. Regarding his preseason game and his performance. You need reps at
Yeah.
the end of the day. At the end of the day, you want to protect the ball. And if you look at Lance's track record, and this is just straying away real quick. If you look at Lance's track record, he takes care of the ball. You know what I mean? Same with Malik. Uh, but I think if you're not going to do anything with Malik, move him somewhere where he will be used. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah. I
think.
mean, he had 2 touchdowns, so I mean, he was all right.
Yeah,
Then let's talk about some Saints stuff real quick, man. Derek Carr, um, Spencer Rattler, man.
he's giving him some competition, man. What could you
Hey,
say?
no, I think people forget about Spencer Rattler. He was one of the most
Yeah,
touted high school prospects coming out. Like whatever happened at Oklahoma didn't work out. I forget who it.
that big whole transfer like thing that went down, right?
Yeah, I forget. Like, who was it that came in? Like,
I
no, I
think
don't
it
think.
was. I think it was. Wasn't it Caleb?
Yeah, yep. I think it was Caleb Williams, and then Spencer
USC,
Rattler.
right?
Yeah, and then before Caleb Williams went to USC, he was at Oklahoma, correct?
Right, and then
With
Rattler.
Lincoln Riley, because Lincoln Riley was there. Yeah, so then
Yeah,
Spencer Rattler ended up transferring to South Carolina.
he was like, I don't want
Um,
none of that.
but there's no denying Spencer Rattler's talent. He's super
Yeah,
mobile. He has arm talent. He's accurate. Um, this could potentially create some interesting conversations during the season. If the Saints
especially
aren't
if
playing well and if Derek Carr is struggling, there definitely going to be some Spencer Rattler rumblings in the Superdome.
especially if not saying it will happen, but if Carr's consistently losing games, consistently turning the ball over, you may want to move to the young guy to just give him a shot. You got a good wide receiver and Olave out there. What could go wrong? Give him a shot.
Yeah, man. Um, we talk about the Saints, man. I mean, it kind of feels like at time like you look at the core of this team, like they kind of missed like their window. It kind of
Right,
feels like they're kind of on the way down. But one
definitely.
thing for sure is though, if you do have a quarterback, even if you don't feel like the roster as a whole is fantastic, if you have a quarterback, it can make up for a lot of things. So who knows,
100%.
man? Spencer Rattler could play a few games, look fantastic, and he could be the guy moving forward. But
Could be
I
something.
respected Derek Carr. Respected Derek Carr because he is still a formidable quarterback in this league. He's still formidable, but Spencer has been really solid in the preseason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And moving on to the next game, man, and the last game that we're going to cover today, the Chargers versus the Dallas Cowboys, the boys.
Talk
Um,
about Trey, man. No, no, no. We're not going. No, don't. No. Talk about Trey. I want to hear it
that's what I
right
was
now.
going to. You act like I was going to stray away from him, but that's exactly where I was going to. He had
Talk
a,
about Trey,
if you
buddy.
let me, but he had an underwhelming outing. Coming off his best preseason game, he had his worst outing. This past game. Throwing it 49 times, they gave him the whole game. Didn't come out with the dub either. Lost 26-19. Only completed 33 of those passes. Not terrible, but not good either.
Yeah.
Got 323 yards. I attest that's garbage time. Some notable throws here and there. He had some nice throws, and then also a throwing touchdown. 11 carries, 90 yards, and a rushing touchdown that was big. But You look at the other side of the stat sheet and it says 5 interceptions. Granted, 2 interceptions were like one was pulled off a wide receiver, I believe. Like wide receiver
Yeah,
caught it and
yeah.
it was straight pulled
They
off.
weren't
And
all
then
his fault.
they weren't all his fault. But it's neither here nor there. You got to take care of the ball. And this is just to attest to Lance not getting reps, missing throws. Uh, can't miss your reads, being late. Can't do that. Missing high. He's used to missing high. That comes with his sort of issues per se. So tough outing for Lance, man. And I think, in my opinion, Cooper Rush may have indirectly won the QB2 without having to play.
Yeah, I think I sent you the tweet. I think RG3 kind of summed up Trey Lance right now perfectly.
Yeah.
When you watch him, he'll do some phenomenal things, and you're like, man, he's dynamic. And then he'll
Right.
kind of do some boneheaded things. But it goes to lack of experience. I mean, he was an incredibly raw prospect
Yep.
coming out of North Dakota State. And then obviously he's sad. He was injured. He didn't play long with the Niners and was traded. And now with the Cowboys, with Dak Prescott there, right? He's probably not going to seal the field a lot as well,
No.
unless Dak Prescott is traded or moves on or whatever. But there's no doubt when we look at Trey Lance, like he has the physical capabilities, the arm talent is there, his athleticism is there, but you can still see his lack of really like his understanding of the game, how he can feel pressure, being able to potentially throw guys open. He does lack that. So, but like I said, RG3, like I said, he summed it up on that with that tweet.
Oh, he did.
It just goes to
perfectly. It was perfect. Yeah.
It's just lack of experience, man. So hopefully, with Trey Lance, I do want to see him play. I think a good situation for Trey Lance would be to go to a team that, let's say, there's a team that's 2-7, right, halfway through the season. Him going there and really getting reps, like the Arizona Cardinals, like potentially going there and let's say
I was even thinking his hometown, Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, like where he can really play. You know what I'm saying? Because like he like when you watch Trey Lance, you just know like, all right, that guy just hasn't played football consistently. That's just the way
it's just like he's just missing playing time, but he has talent. Yeah. It's just a thing with reps, and like people like to accredit it. Oh, he's had this many years, but how many reps has he taken? Yes, he's on year, I believe, 3 or 4 now. And people like to just write him off. Oh, he's on year 3 or 4. He's done. No, he still hasn't played. He's played very much preseason, a few regular season games, and 1 year in North Dakota State. It's not a lot of playing time, and he's still young. He's 24. So it's I don't just a bad game, but it's not a good thing to be left off of from the last preseason game. You're not going to see the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just pointing out Vaughn, Cowboys running back, he played well. I think he's going to be a bright spot for them, especially because their running game has been so scarce and they're having trouble finding a running back. I think Vaughn could fill that void. Maybe get Zeke in there for a few touches. Who knows? I don't know if you want to throw Michael Parsons. Dumb move, maybe. But at the end of the day, Cowboys need to find some type of running game. And if you're not going to get it from Vaughn, you got to sign somebody at this point.
Man, you forgot about Zeke?
You act like Zeke is going to get potent carries. You're going to
stop hating on Zeke, man. Stop hating on Zeke, man.
What has Zeke done in the last 3 years, Caleb? Don't do that.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
No. Cut it out. What did he do last year?
Hey,
what did he do?
He wasn't that bad with New England, man.
For how many games?
Obviously, look, I'm not saying he's Ezekiel Elliott from his first few years with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying that.
I'm saying he's not going to be a significant factor at all with this Cowboys team. He's going to get about 3-4 carries a game, and they're going to call it a night. Because
let me ask you a question.
He's not going to get too many carries anymore. He's not that guy anymore.
Are you over or under Zeke 800 yards rushing?
Under? What the?
Under?
Under. Jesus Christ! If you go over, you're losing money. You're acting like Drewski when he picked Ezekiel this year in fantasy. Stop acting like it. You act like he's still top dog.
No, man.
If Zeke is on stem cells, maybe I'll give it a shot, but I don't know.
Hey man, I got faith in Zeke, man, but
I don't.
Let's talk.
I'm sorry, man. It's just like when it comes to guys who are out of it and they're done, Zeke is one guy who is out of it and done, but he's still
Hey,
there.
hold on. So Zeke is done?
I say he's gonna give Dallas a good 3 to 4 carries each game. One of them may pop off or something. Is he gonna be a guy who gets 10 to 15 carries a game? Absolutely not. He's gonna get injured. We know this. We know this.
Oh, snap, bro. All right, man. Moving on, bro. Let's talk some that Raiders and Niners game, bro. What you think?
Hey man, a big old tie there. Big old tie and
Nah, that was crazy,
a
bro. A
crazy ending
tie.
to that game. Shout out to the ending though, real quick. Like those guys were straight pulling effort out there. It was just crazy to me.
Man, I hate. Honestly, man, they should take out the tie rule, bro. That
It's
stuff is
stupid.
like,
It's stupid.
yeah, man. It's kind of like really like you know what they should do? Like, let's say they go like in overtime, it goes to like 0 seconds. They do like a whatchamacallit, like you start because don't like start at like the 10 or so yard line and you get like one play and then a switch and then switch and then switch. Like you know what I'm saying? Do like a do or
Okay.
die. You know, like or do something. I'm trying to think of something, bro.
They just need to get
Because
more. They just need to get more creative with
because yeah,
the
the tie
overtime.
stuff is weak. I'm sorry,
Because
that's how
like,
I
yeah,
feel.
no, the tie stuff is weak. I hate that. I hate that sitting on the record like that.
Yeah, man. How your boy Purdy look, man? We ain't gonna talk
Uh,
about the
had a
interception he threw, but
had a little up and down. That interception he threw was his fault per Debo, per the right side of the offensive line. McKivitz, who's horrible in that right side. It don't look good for the Niners protection wise. Debo's still having a hard time getting separation. I think that was one of the problems with the interception. He had it in his hands. He just had to catch it. That was also Debo's fault. But then again, Purdy needs to make a smarter decision, not throwing into such tight coverage there. But overall, he had an okay game. He made some nice throws. He had a nice throw over the middle to Kittle. Looking back on the film, it was a risky throw. Um, Purdy without Ayuk, maybe with Persall, because Persall's still iffy. We don't know about Persall. We got to
bro,
see
you
if
don't
he can
even
get
like
through a
Persol,
practice.
bro.
We got to see if he can get through a practice, Caleb. He can't get through a practice without getting hurt. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to report on here? He can't even get through a practice, let alone a game. He didn't even play in the preseason. Give that spot to Jacob Cowing at this point. But anyway, at the end of the day, Purdy without Ayuk is a problem because Debo is a running back playing wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good yak receiver, yes, but he has struggles getting open. And Ayuk, his route running is top tier. He finds very easy ways to get open. So you need him, you know.
Yeah, hold on. Just a little quick thing. Was that when I saw on Twitter like Brock Purdy pulled like a Dan Orlovsky and like it was like a safety when he threw it? Like was it? It was like I don't know if it was against the Raiders or was the game before where like he was like in the shotgun and then he like got a safety and threw it and then they got intercepted. Like I saw a video on Twitter.
I
Was
think
that
that
Brock Purdy?
I think that might have been a week prior because is it when he threw across his body? I don't know.
No, he
I
literally
don't
like got a
remember.
save. Like look, like check the video out, bro. I saw it on Twitter. Like
I
it
think you
was
may be
crazy.
talking about Daniel Jones because I think I would have
Oh, was it?
known
It
if
was it
everybody
Daniel
was.
Jones?
You're tripping.
Okay, it might have been some people who were trolling, man, or like trying to, to just
No,
say
no,
some
no,
stuff
no, no, no.
because it
You're
was
tripping.
yeah.
Because
I
no,
saw.
I would have remembered if Brock would have done that because I don't think he had a drive where he was close to his own touchdown. I mean his
Okay,
own
okay,
goal line
all right, yeah.
and uh, Daniel Jones is known for making a play like that, so it's not a
My
surprise
bad,
there.
my bad, Brock.
Why are you doing Brock
I
like
just
that? No. But Brock did have a bad throw the week prior to this game. He tried to throw a cross body. He got picked.
okay, okay,
But
yeah. But
no,
that
no,
video
no.
I saw, that was crazy. I'm like, ain't no way this is a real play. It looked like it was like some AI stuff.
Horrible.
Um,
But hey, I
yeah,
just want to
yeah.
touch on real quick. Jordan Mason, continues to be a standout. Whether you want to say it's second or third stringers, he was doing this against first stringers last year when he got his touches. So continues to be consistent.
Wait.
Eight
Is
carries,
he running
42
back
yards,
too?
and he's running back to him, in my opinion. He has to be. Elijah Mitchell is not healthy right now. He's not even playing. So, and you got other rookies behind him that still need to learn the playbook a bit. And Kyle likes to sit guys a year, have them learn the playbook, and he won't play you. And that was Jordan Mason for a few years. So I think Jordan Mason's going to get his carries now. I hope Kyle splits it up between CMC so he could get some rest. But Jordan Mason, man, consistent back, a power back, runs hard, runs fast too, and he just averages so many yards a carry. And I think that's what's going to help the Niners in the run game, along with CMC.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a little thing to touch on my Raiders because the Raiders were the team that the Niners played, and I'm just throwing it
Hey,
out there.
hey, hey,
Uh,
did you see the fight?
oh my man, it's
Bro,
Raiders
bro,
and
bro,
Niners.
bro, bro got his head slashed, straight leaking, bro.
Nah, man,
Let's,
Raiders and
let's
Niners games it always gets crazy, man. Like
everybody,
it's
if
even
you're
in
worried about
Vegas
a
now.
Raiders and Niners game, don't go. Just don't go at this point
Nah, for
because
real.
people
Niners and
get
Raiders
too
games is
much.
crazy. They're crazy for sure. But yeah, just talk a little bit about Tyreek McAllister, man. He was solid. like he was definitely one of the guys who stood out to me. Caught a touchdown, and obviously that 81 punt return for
Yep,
a touchdown as well. That was great.
nasty.
For sure. And also Chris Smith, man, the safety for the Raiders. He picked off Brock early in the game. He's a young, talented safety.
Yeah,
Um, but he hasn't really seen the field a lot for whatever reason. I think he is promising, and
for sure.
hopefully he has a bigger role with the team this year. Especially because you look at the safety situation. Trayvon Merrick, I really like Trayvon Merrick. Mike Epps, he's okay. Like he's solid, but I think
Serviceable.
yeah, serviceable coming from Philadelphia. But I think Chris Smith could come in and really play a part in that secondary. So, but also let's talk about Bradley, man, Mister Bradley, Mister
Mr.
Bradley,
Bradley. Hey, you didn't play too
Mister
bad.
Bradley.
Didn't play too
Nah,
bad.
he was good. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
He's better than Peterman,
hey, I was gonna say, bro, he's better than Nathan Peterman, huh?
in my
All
opinion.
right, all
He
right,
just
man.
looked naturally better.
I'm not gonna get in. I'm not gonna get into that, man.
All right.
Um, but he was solid, man. 9 for 21, 169 yards, a touchdown, an interception. He was solid. But another one I want to talk about because he's really been popular as far as in the Raiders Twitter sphere. Uh,
Twitter sphere.
Twitter sphere. Amari Gainer, correct?
Mariana.
Amari Gainer, yes. Linebacker.
Play good.
I need to see him on that 53-man roster immediately.
Yeah, I
Like I
agree.
better wake up tomorrow and see him on the roster. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's been phenomenal in the
Sure.
preseason. His speed, his coverage, obviously, and his
Putting
ability
up
in the run
numbers,
as well.
putting up numbers as well. He's been an
No,
impact.
100%. And again, I talked about the secondary not being necessarily the strong suit for the Raiders defensively.
Right.
The linebacking core is solid. When I talk about Robert Spillane, Divine Diablo, but again, you need that third linebacker.
Your D
And
line's
and
your filet mignon though.
No,
Y'all's
no
D line
question. Our,
is
our front four is the bread and butter with Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Coons, Tyree Wilson. But yeah, we need that third and fourth linebacker, and I think that he can definitely potentially be that. So
you
shout out
should.
to him. He's been balling, man. I
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I need to see him on that roster, bro, for
You need to
real.
make that 53. Absolutely. I agree. 100% agree with you. But as we move on here, man, Caleb, give me your quick preview, real quick, for the regular season week 1. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Your prediction, my boy. Only yours. You're not gonna get none of me. This is all you. What you got?
Let me clear my throat real quick.
Mm,
So respect to the Chargers. I respect Jim Harbaugh. I respect Justin Herbert. Respect Khalil Mack. Respect Joey Bosa. Respect Derwin James. Respect Rashawn Slater. I respect some of the guys they have on that football team.
yeah,
But with that being said, the Chargers don't have a chance. I mean, let's just keep it real. They don't have a chance. This team is definitely they're rebuilding. I mean, yes, they got the quarterback, but this roster as a whole, they need some improvement. If I have to give a score for this game,
your
you know what?
prediction. Give me a score.
I'm going Raiders 27. I'm going Chargers 13. I think the Raiders win
Raiders
by.
27, Chargers 13.
I think the Raiders win by 2
Up
touchdowns.
you think Minshew is gonna put up 27 points?
No, no, I'm not saying it's gonna be just Minshew. I'm talking about the running back. I'm talking about the defense who creates turnovers. Dude, come on, man. Like, excuse me. If you look at the Raiders last
I
year,
hate
their
it.
defense was creating a lot of turnovers, and they were scoring off their defense. And oh, come on, I'm not gonna sit here and act like Minshew is like he's serviceable. Like Minshew is a serviceable quarterback. Like, is he? Would you hold on? You taking Minshew or you taking Jimmy Garoppolo?
I knew you were gonna ask that. Minshew, obviously. He's more mobile than Jimmy. Why would I have Jimmy?
Like Minshew is respectable, man. Like when Anthony Richardson was out last year when he was with the Colts, Minshew nearly led that team to the playoffs. And no one know when Anthony Richardson, excuse me, went out, everyone wrote them off, and Minshew played well that season. So, and I believe overall this Raiders team, the roster as a whole, is better than the Indianapolis Colts. So, I just think this, like, I think Gardner Minshew, I see him throwing 2 touchdowns. I think I can see 2 touchdowns. Um, but the key, like I said, Zamir White is going to have to really step up and be that guy moving forward. We talked about
You,
Josh Jacobs; he's no longer there.
you think he's gonna get the
Um,
full workload?
100%, 100%. I mean, Alexander Madison, we talked about it. He's a receiving back. He's more third down. Um, you got Devontae Adams. You've got Jacoby Myers. You got Trey Tucker. You got Brock Bowers. You got Michael Mayer. Like Minshew has the weapons around him to succeed, and you have a really good offensive line. Like, so I
Gotta
think
do
it's there
something.
for. Yeah, I think it's there for the Raiders to put up points. I'm not a big fan of this Chargers defense overall. Yes, they have some playmakers and difference makers, but as a whole, this defense hasn't been great. So respect to Jim Harbaugh. I respect him, but I'm sorry, buddy. Week 1 is going to be tough. Like I said, Vegas 27, Chargers 13. We're going to be doing a post game reaction. We're going to be doing that. Yes,
You
I'm
already
calling
know.
for it
You
because I'm
you already
coming.
know
Hold
that's
on,
on the deck. You already know that's on
hold
the
on,
deck.
hold on. I'm coming on here. Whatever episode is going to be, I'm gonna come in here with my Raiders stuff. And I'm gonna be like, I told y'all so. Because
All
everyone's
right, all
like,
right, all right. So if the
they
Raiders,
go the
so
Chargers, Jim
if the Raiders lose, then
Harbaugh.
what? If the Raiders
Raiders,
lose, then what?
Raiders are not losing the game.
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
even
okay.
thinking
I'm
of.
saying if they do. I'm saying if
They're
they do.
not. They're
Are
not.
you
They're
on
not
your
gonna lose.
soapbox or what?
Don't look. I'm gonna be honest. The Raiders to lose against the Chargers is if they don't take them seriously.
Okay, that's your excuse.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
I want to come up here and say that hey, the Raiders they just didn't take the game seriously. They're probably out in LA partying, going down to Hollywood having a good time.
All
They didn't
right,
take the first game
buddy.
seriously.
I didn't want to hear it. All right, buddy.
No, but like I said, respect to the Chargers, but it's Raider Nation time, buddy. It's time.
All I'll say, as
Yes,
long
sir.
as you have Justin Herbert and a guy like that, you think he's always going to be in the game, unfortunately.
Maybe next year.
But I digress. I digress. We're going to be moving on. That was the Raiders Niners recap right there for you, and just moving on to the top 10. That 10? That's 10. We got top 10 quarterbacks right now.
Bro.
And I'm actually
Yo.
going to take this first.
All
I'm
right,
actually
bro.
going to take this first,
Let me
man.
hear your list, bro.
So we got top 10. So I know we got some differences going down the list. I think
I
above
don't
the list
know.
we're pretty. We'll see. So first and foremost, Mahomes, my number one. It's pretty self-explanatory. He's the guy. What can you do? He's Mahomes. He's got the Super Bowl wins. He's got everything to back it up. He's got the accolades. He's got the stats. What's more there to say? And then on my number two, I got Joe Burrow, man. When healthy, Joe Burrow plays well in the regular season and the playoffs. Playoffs specifically, he has a great passer rating along with 1,800 yards, 9 touchdowns, only 4 picks, in 7 games. I know everybody says quarterbacks wins is not a stat, but he is 5-2 in the playoffs and he has been to a bowl before. When Joe Burrow is healthy, give that man a good O-line. He already has his receiver. Bro, he is a top guy in this league, and a lot of people love to sleep on Joe Burrow. But that's why I got him at 2. And then at 3, my 3 and 4 interchangeable, very much interchangeable because I'm not saying they're the same player, but they have the same problem. Lamar Jackson being my 3rd, Josh Allen being my 4. The thing with Lamar, man, yes, he is MVP, 2 time, right? 2 time, 2 times. But at the end of the day, Lamar don't play well in the playoffs statistically. You don't even got to look at his playoff record. You could look at how he plays. He just don't play well, and unfortunately, he hasn't gone to that big game yet. He has had the pieces around him to do it in very close games with some very big guys, and unfortunately, he just hasn't been able to get past that extra curve, so to speak. But at my number 4, as I said, I got Josh Allen. The reason I put him lower than Lamar, I feel like Lamar has the MVPs, accolades over him. I feel like Lamar could be a bit more of a use rather than Josh Allen, but there's no denying Josh's talent, his arm talent, his mobility, but going into this year with the team Josh Allen has, I think right where I put him is right where I put him because in the playoffs, Josh Allen, man, he is not that guy, and they've been they had their chances how many times? Like same thing with Lamar. So that's where I put him. And finishing off just the top 5 here, we got C.J. Stroud coming off a big year, and the reason I put him at number 5 is because
Okay.
just going into this year, he has more weapons. You got Diggs, you got Schultz, you got Tank Dell, you got Nico Collins, you got Joe Mixon, and then you got that great defense with D'Amico Ryans. Stroud is primed to take it a bit further in the playoffs this year with the team he has, and I think building on top of last year, you're going to see a lot more improvement, a lot more consistency, and that's why I put Stroud over what we have below. I got Stafford, and the reason I put Stafford there, he's 36 years old. He's getting up there in the age. He still has Puka Nacua. You got Cooper Kupp, but I see Stafford regressing this year. He does have a Super Bowl win, but 6 I think is where where he sits. He's good there. And then I got Jalen Hurts at number 7. Jalen Hurts with that offense, man, he's still a guy. What more can you say? He has playoff experience. Statistically, he has played fair in the playoffs, but he just gets to the NFC teams. The NFC quarterbacks always run into the problem of run to the big dog, like the Niners or the Cowboys, one of those bigger teams that are going to make those things happen. So, but I feel like Hurts sits right there nicely, and then I got Herbert right below him. Fortunately, man, Herbert only has 1 playoff appearance. What can you do? But you can't deny the talent. You can't deny him statistically. Are we forgetting Herbert's year in 2021? Caleb, can you recall?
To be honest, bro, I have CRS. You know what that is?
5,000 yards and 38 touchdowns. He is not a man to be messed with, when he has the weapons and opportunities. Unfortunately, this year, it's looking a bit scarce for Herbert. He's coming off injury going into the season. They did add to the O-line with Joe Alt, but as a whole, we don't really know. And then as you said earlier, that defense is missing a lot. So at the end of the day, Herbert sits where he sits. But statistically, he's a great regular season quarterback. Playoff wise, he's only been there once, man. So he's at where he's at. And that's where Dak is where he's at as well. Granted, 19, 21, 23, his best years. But in playoff games, does Dak Prescott show up? No. Very, 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 very inconsistent.
The dramatic pause was crazy, bro.
Dak Prescott is 2-5 in the playoffs, and he has yet to get past the divisional round. He hasn't even been to an NFC chip yet. And if you can't get there, that's where you gonna sit. But and keep in mind his best year is 19, 21, and 23, all years apart. It's all like apart. But I digress. He's still a great quarterback statistically in the regular season. He puts on a damn show. So Dak sits at my 9, and then I got Purdy at my 10. And thing with Purdy, he was the last pick in the draft. His ceiling wasn't too high. There wasn't a lot of expectations out of him. And in 22, when injuries happened, he filled in, put up 13 touchdowns, completely efficient in the playoffs. 1,300 yards, 6 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Has had a Super Bowl experience. You need to give Brock Purdy where credit is due. The reason I put Dak ahead of him is because with what Dak could possibly do with the weapons instead of what Purdy could do without the weapons, we see how Purdy is. So he sits at my 10 above Tua and Love, who I have right there. They're interchangeable, but again, Tua has how many weapons? So that's where I compare him to Brock Purdy right there. Caleb over there shaking his head like Tua done won somewhere, did something. So go ahead.
Nah, having Brock Purdy. First of all, CJ Stroud top 5, huh? That's how you feeling?
CJ Stroud is a top 5 quarterback.
Brock Purdy and number 10, huh?
More consistent than Tua.
Okay. Hey, that's your call, buddy. All right, so
Hey,
moving
Tua
on
hasn't
to
Tua hasn't proved nothing to me, buddy.
respect to Brock Purdy. He
Respect
went to the
Brock
Super
Purdy,
Bowl,
Caleb.
but I don't know, man.
You
Tua,
don't know
Jared
what?
Goff, maybe. I
Jared
don't know.
Goff's good.
All right, no,
But
I respect
but
Brock
wait,
Purdy.
wait,
Brock
wait,
Purdy's
wait.
I respect.
Do we want to recall the the choking that happened with Detroit this previous playoffs? Like and how Goff was so amazing that game, right?
Okay.
But go ahead.
Call me when you guys beat the Chiefs. All right, so moving on. Top 10
Relax.
QBs.
Your Raiders can't even get to no playoffs. Calm it down.
Hey, hold on. How about this? I guarantee you, the Raiders. How about this? Okay, Raiders get to the playoffs. If they play the Chiefs, round 1 or 2, we knock them out.
All right.
I'm calling it right now, man.
Okay.
I got
I'm
faith,
gonna
bro.
clip
I got
that.
faith in my team, bro. I got faith. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. That's all
All
right.
right. So my top 10. All right.
Let's hear it. I
All
want to
right.
see.
All right. So number 1 is the obvious, Patrick Mahomes. Don't really have to add anything. He is the best quarterback in football. He's already mentioned among one, if not the greatest quarterback of all time already.
Man.
The stats speak for themselves. The championship speaks for themselves. He is in a league of his own. Number 2, same thing like you. I got Mr. Shiesty. I got Joey B. I don't know if he's Shiesty no more because he dyed his hair. He looked like Slim Shady.
You do it like some
Um,
shady.
nah, that's crazy. I'm gonna go Joe Burrow at 2. Excuse me. At the end of the day, we saw what Joe Burrow did his first full healthy season in Cincinnati. He led a team to the Super Bowl. Like Joe Burrow, he's as accurate as it gets. A true elite, field general.
Right.
The only problem with Joe Burrow is his health. If he's healthy, um, this team can get to the Super Bowl. Like this is an AFC Championship team for sure. It just all
100%.
comes down to his health. Number 3, just like you as well, Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, one of the most dynamic players in football. Is it fair to say the modern day Michael Vick, or is that disrespectful?
No, I think that's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's
Okay,
not
okay,
disrespectful.
okay, yeah. But yeah, Lamar, we know what he does. He's dynamic. I mean, the guy's incredible. The only thing that you really can really say about Lamar Jackson really is his playoff resume. In the playoffs, isn't great. Just hasn't been great for him from win to loss rate, win to loss record. I can't even talk. Um, but there's no denying that talent that is Lamar Jackson. He is one of the best in the game for sure. Number four, Josh Allen. You know, I'm gonna give you another comparison: modern day Cam Newton or disrespectful.
No, I like that because yeah, I like the size of Cam and like the ferocity how they run. Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Yeah, Josh Allen can do basically everything. He can run, the arm talent, the accuracy. The guy can make every throw in the book. The arm angles. The guy's incredible. Um, really, it seems like when it comes to Josh Allen, like I feel like with a lot of these quarterbacks, with Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, it's just Patrick Mahomes is there. Like they just can't knock off Pat. At the end of the day, these guys
Pat,
are
Pat,
all
Pat has all the accolades. You can't really deny it, you know.
yeah. But I mean, like when it comes to Lamar, Josh, and Joe, like they easily could be number one. You look at their talent and what they bring to the table,
They're
but
interchangeable.
they just can't beat Pat. Like no one has figured out Pat so far, man, except Tom Brady. You know what I mean? That's
And
it.
Tom Brady's the GOAT for the quarterbacks.
Exactly. So yeah, I got Josh Allen at fourth. Number five,
I
I'm
don't
gonna I'm
yeah.
gonna do a little
I
I'm gonna do a little
agree.
change up, huh? I'm
Okay.
doing a little change up. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Take out Mr. Stroud, drop a little bit, sir. I'm gonna put in Mr. Matthew Stafford, man. Um, I got Stafford as the fifth best quarterback in football. I mean, the guy's still. Um, I mean, Everyone talks about the no look passes that Mahomes does and all this kind of stuff, but Matthew Stafford kind of started that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
The sidearm looks, the no looks. We know the arm talent that he possesses from his, them days in Detroit with him and Calvin Johnson. Um, it was a few years ago. He was banged up, was 100% with the elbow. This past season, he looked nearly 100%, and we saw 100% near Matthew Stafford is still one of the best as it gets. So I think going into this season, you talked about with Puka Nakua, Cooper Cup, also Kyron Williams as well at running back. So I'm expecting a big year out of Mr. Matthew Stafford, man.
Why
And
Stafford over Stroud?
I just think individually, Stafford just has more to his game right now. I think Stroud's amazing, but I think like Matthew Stafford can do pretty much everything that Stroud can do at this point, even though what Stroud's going into second season. But I just think Matthew Stafford, with his experience and the fact that he can just do it, I think at a higher level, and he's shown it he can do it at a higher level. Like, I mean, look like, let's be honest here. Like, what were the expectations for the Rams and the Texans this past season? Yes, we didn't think the Texans were going to be that good, but we also didn't think the Rams were going to be that good as well. You know what I'm saying? And there were two
Interesting.
quarterbacks. There were two quarterbacks that shined, but for me, I just think Stafford overall, physically, I just think he's still an inch above CJ Stroud. I think it's close though. It's close. Stroud could easily be in the top five by the end of the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So obviously at six, I got CJ Stroud. Phenomenal rookie season. A lot of expectations, and the standards are raised now in Houston going into year two with this roster. It's from top to bottom. It's a really talented roster. So Stephon Diggs is there now. They brought in Joe Mixon to go along with Damian Pierce at the running back. Talked about Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz at tight end. Laramie Tunsil, one of the premier left tackles in football as well. So this offense, like it was this past season, it could be even more potent. So a lot of high expectations for CJ Stroud and a team that could make a potentially deep run in the AFC. Who knows? Yeah. All right, moving on to number 7. I got Herbie. I got Justin Herbert. Um, Look, for all the crap I talk about the Chargers, in all seriousness, look, you cannot deny the talent that is Justin Herbert. What is he, 6'5", 6'6"? I mean, the guy can throw 100 something plus yards like on one knee. Like the guy physically has everything. He can run. He's someone who is not afraid to take hits. And like you said, the talent hasn't been the greatest overall around him. since he's came in, and he's still been able to function at such a high level. So I think if you look at raw talent, I think Herbert could easily be top 4 on this list. But obviously, we got to start to kind of see some wins and potentially playoff stuff down the line for me to put him in there. So,
Right.
but no doubt, Justin Herbert is one of the best, like one of just the pure throwers in the game.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Moving on to number 8, we got Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, man. Um, I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Was it the well, Jason Kelsey gone? I don't know if they're gonna do the tush push. You think they're still gonna do that
No, I think that was very
uh,
much a Jason Kelsey like
type of
type of
thing?
play. Yeah.
Nah, but Jalen Hurts, yeah, he had a bit of a. I'm not gonna say disappointing, but he definitely had not the greatest season this past season. There definitely was a step back. I think a lot of it because he wasn't
Sorry.
100%. I think he said throughout the season, or it was throughout the season, or at the end of the season, it came out that he just wasn't 100%. His body just he wasn't himself.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see that too. Like when I watched Jalen Hurts this past season, like when he was running, he didn't look like he was like himself. Like he looked like he
Yeah.
was, trying to protect himself a lot. So, but there's no doubt. Like he's led a team to the Super Bowl. We know what he can do with his legs. We know what he can do with his arm. He's kind of like that modern day dual threat quarterback that we see a lot in the NFL today. So,
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, I think rightfully so. I think where he's at is solid. He could move up again. Who knows how this season's going to play out for these guys? But I think Jalen Hurts is no doubt about it. He's one of the 7 or 8 best quarterbacks in football. Then moving on to number 9. First of all, the disrespect that you showed to Tagovailoa, my
Ain't
tribal
no
chief.
disrespect. Ain't no
Yeah,
disrespect.
my tribal chief was kind of insane. Um, so I got Tua at 9. Now the only thing you can say about Tua is his health. That's it.
What has he done
Like
in the playoffs?
I get it. I understand that. I completely understand that. But that goes to with health. I don't think he. What was he available? Was he available down the stretch of these past 2 years? Was he available, or was he? Because I remember he had the when he had the excuse me, he had the concussion thing, right? That was pretty
Yeah.
bad. That was what 2 seasons ago.
Hmm.
So it's all health with Tua. Like when he's on the field, I mean, he's gonna light up the stat sheet, man. Like this guy with Tyreek, with Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Mostert, like they're gonna put up points. He's gonna put up numbers. This is gonna be a top 1 or 2 offense in the entire NFL. We know what Tua does. It's just health for him. That's really just hindered really his. I think the overall view of how people view him, because a lot of people say, well, we can't put that faith in him because he's not durable. But if we can get one full season out of Tua where he's 100%, this is an MVP candidate. I 100% stamp on that. So put some respect on Tua's name, sir. Lastly, number 10, I got Jared Goff. Now, respect to Brock Purdy. He's no longer Mr. Irrelevant. He's eliminated that tag. But Jared Goff, for me, like he has to get his respect. This is a guy who led a team like the Rams to the Super Bowl, and after a few years, he kind of got cast out. He got thrown away in that Matthew Stafford deal. Yes, the Stafford came to the Rams and won them a Super Bowl, but let's not act like Jared Goff is a good quarterback. Since he's come to Detroit, they've him and Dan Campbell, they've helped change his culture. And since he stepped in there, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in football. If you're a numbers person, Jared Goff has been that. So I think Jared Goff is perfect right at 10. I think you can debate Brock Purdy, you can debate Dak.
Jordan
Who else? What?
Love.
Jordan Love. Would you throw Kirk Cousins in there, or you think we wouldn't put Kirk Cousins in there? Nah,
I think Kirk Cousins is strictly top 15
top
or
15.
top 13.
Yeah, but I mean, I was thinking about Jordan Love because well, first of all, you love Jordan Love. Jordan Love, he's fantastic. But
Yeah.
I think Jared Goff. This is more. I'm not gonna lie. The 10 and 9 for me is more just a personal agenda for me. I'm not gonna lie because I think two guys, Tua and Jared, don't really get a lot of their just due, but they're phenomenal quarterbacks. So
Okay.
that's my top 10.
No, I do disagree with you, but I'm not gonna get into that. It's all right, but You know, I think comparing the top 10 list, I think there's no really wrong answer here. I mean, everything's objective, right? But all these guys are really talented, and it just shows how deep the quarterback room is. You know what I mean?
100%. It's crazy. I think this is like the first like quarterback list where I didn't think of Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's crazy how much talent is in the NFL now at that position in the youth.
And Rogers is right there. Keep in mind, but that whole one season he left, a lot happened, and
Yeah, 100%.
and to leave him off the top 10 list, yeah, it may be crazy, but I mean, Rogers got to show something this year again if he wants to be in the conversation.
Yeah, especially because of his age, but also that last year he was in Green Bay, he wasn't fantastic,
Hmm.
and obviously he's getting older, and then he's coming off the Achilles. So, but there's no doubt if Aaron Rodgers is close to Aaron Rodgers, he's a top 10 quarterback. I mean,
Flat
obviously,
out,
but
flat
it's a
out.
wait and see for A Rod.
It is a wait and see. And we're gonna move on to the last topic of the day. We got the point after picks. So we're gonna point out the notable games for the weeks on end, and we're gonna make our picks. Caitlin, man, we'll start with you. Week one, you got four notable games here. Give me your first prediction for Baltimore versus Kansas City. Who's taking it? We got.
Excuse me. Yeah, well, I'm a little under the weather today. That's why I've been coughing a few times. I'm making it through though. I'm good.
We're,
I'm
we're,
good.
we're pushing through. It's all right.
Yeah. So I got KC week one. I think it's gonna be an exciting game. I think it's 30-27. I think it's gonna definitely be a high scoring contest. I just when it comes to close games, because I know it's gonna be close because these are two really good football teams.
Yeah.
But when it comes to close games, I just me being a Raider fan is seeing it twice a year. I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man, in close games. Like
That's right.
I've tried to. I've tried to jinx this Chiefs team. I've tried everything. It's just in close games, the game's on the line, and Pat has the football. You might as well just chalk it up and have a good day. So
I mean, look at the Super Bowl last year, but you got 30-27.
30-27. I got Casey pulling it out. Is it in Baltimore or Kansas City?
No, let me fact check you real quick.
Because
Let
if it's in Kansas City, I guarantee you it's a win for sure. If it's a close game in Baltimore, there is a percentage chance, but in Kansas City, no, I don't see it.
It is at the Chiefs.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Respect to Lamar, respect to Harbaugh and the Ravens, but
Yeah. No. Respect to them, but I also agree with you. I'm gonna go the Chiefs here. A little bit more of a high scoring game. I'm gonna go 35-31. Chiefs take it. You got
okay.
Patrick Mahomes. You got Pacheco. You got Kelsey. You got Xavier. You got Xavier Worthy. Gonna get his touches. You know you can't disregard him. He's the fastest guy on the field. So
Yeah.
Chiefs gonna take that one. Chiefs gonna take that one in my opinion. And then we got Green Bay and the Eagles. That's a good game. What we
Hmm.
got there? What we got there, Caleb? Tell me.
Yeah, so I know for a lot of reasons, a lot of people aren't really the most high on the Philadelphia Eagles going into the season. Obviously, new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, new defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio. Bradbury, they moved him to safety. Hasn't been fantastic there, but a lot of people like to pile on Bradbury, man.
Mhm.
But look, Fletcher Cox, he retired. Jason Kelsey, he retired. It's kind of a little bit of a new era in Philadelphia. Two stalwarts moving on. Um, but I think Philly still from top to bottom, the experience they've had, the talent. I like Green Bay. They're young. They're really promising. They're on the up. I think this is a no doubt. Green Bay is a playoff team for me, but I think Philadelphia edges it out. I think it's going to be a low scoring game though. I look at this game as 21-20. Uh, Again, it's gonna be close, but I think it's gonna be a low scoring game because even though I think Philadelphia is better than Green Bay, I think Green Bay their talent level is not that far off. So I'm going
No,
21-20.
21-20.
Yeah,
The
Philadelphia.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually gonna go Packers taking this game.
Okay.
I just think that offense is gonna be real nice. Jordan Love is able to find his receivers a lot of the time. He's got Dobbs, you got Watson, and you have Josh Jacobs now. And I think that's gonna be a real significant factor in their running game, along with you re-signed Kenny Clark or you extended him, which is great for that D line. Their
Kenny.
defense is always solid. So I just think by Green Bay's offense, very high power, they're gonna put up a lot of potency with the points. So I'm actually gonna go 28-17 Packers.
Okay.
A little
Okay.
bit different for me. A little bit different
All
for me.
right. All right.
I like Philly.
So
Uh,
like, what makes you what? Because you're not alone. Like, why do you think some people are down on Philly a little bit? What do you think that's about?
Defensively, like their offense is great, right? But then you lose Fletcher Cox. Your secondary isn't amazing. Um, so just at the end of the day, with like just how Love is coming off this momentum off of last year, going into the playoffs and then coming off some good preseason games, he's warmed up, he's ready. You got Josh Jacobs there now, so I just think that offense is raring to go, and they're going to put up some points this year. I think they're the like a Texans, but not as don't have like as much depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think what a lot of people are saying about Philly is that their linebacking core isn't great. Um, uh, like they brought in Devin White. I mean, N'Kobe Dean. I don't think he's played a lot. They lost their linebacker that was there, Edwards, to Chicago. What was it last
Hmm.
year? So yeah, I think the line. I think you're right. The secondary. Slay's getting up there. Obviously, again, the linebacking core isn't fantastic. So I understand, but I think
Philly.
Philly. You're. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the
It's
blind faith
like
I have in Philly, man. I
I would
don't know.
say, I mean, that one's really a toss up, like between
Yeah,
like talent and everything. But
100%.
it did, you know. Also, you got to keep in mind, Hertz hasn't played this preseason. He's coming fresh. Seeing there
Oh
maybe
yeah,
that little rust. It's not out of the equation. I'm not saying Hertz is going to be terrible, but it's a thing to look out for. But to move
yeah,
on to the Rams versus Detroit, I got the. That's actually an interesting game to look at. But I actually got Detroit winning that, man. What about you?
yeah. I'm actually gonna switch, man. I'm going with the Rams. I have a lot of faith in the Rams. This season. I look at that team the way they finished the year last year. Yes, Aaron Donald is gone. That's nearly impossible to replace.
Man,
But I think you look at this team overall, and I just like the Rams. I like their projection. Detroit's going to be, I think, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. I won't be surprised if they do go to the NFC Championship this year, whether it's they're playing the Niners, whether it's the Packers or Eagles, whoever they see. I think they're definitely they're clearly one of the best teams in football. But for Week 1, I'm going with the Rams. That game's in Detroit too, correct?
I'm gonna fact check you.
Because if it's in Detroit, I can see Matthew Stafford going up in there and
I can see
having
it.
having one of those games where he kind of shows them, hey, like no, y'all remember me. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Lat Lions. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be the most highest scoring game though of the entire
Yeah.
week. I think you're looking at 38-35. I think it's gonna be an
Yeah. I was
absolute
gonna go around
shootout.
there. Yeah.
Absolute shootout. These are two potent offenses. Um, and I just think, yeah, two teams that I have big expectations for this year, and I think it's gonna be definitely. I think it's definitely gonna be the game of the week for sure.
Yeah. A lot of high powered offense right there. But I actually got Lions, man. Like you said, I think it's gonna be a high scoring game too. But I actually got the score 37-34 Lions. I think they're
Oh,
gonna take
so
this
high
one.
scoring too. Okay, okay.
Of
I
course, of
like
course.
it.
I mean, Amon St. Brown's gonna get his touches. You got Jameson Williams.
Amon Ra.
you got Sam Laporta. I mean, what are you gonna do? And then you got Aiden on the D line. So at the end of the day, their secondary is decent. You got Kirby Joseph. But at the end of the day, with the shootout, I think Detroit could win it. I mean, especially like looking at the games they played last year, they won a lot of shootouts.
Yeah.
So I take that into account too. But neither here nor there.
All right, last game of last game we're gonna talk about. Jay, take that away because I know you want to do your little spiel, man, to your team. I give you your respect, man. I wanted to say something first,
It's
but
all right.
I want to see how
It's
you
all right.
go.
I appreciate the respect, man. But it's the Niners and the Jets, man. Who else is it gonna be? But I got the Niners winning this one. I don't think it's gonna be too high scoring. Jets have a really good defense, as well as the Niners. So I don't think it's gonna be too high scoring. I'm gonna say 24-21 Niners. Gonna be a close game. I feel like Rodgers is gonna stay in it. But what's not good for Rodgers, he's going up against the best defense in his first game back from that injury. So it's not a good look if he's gonna be running around for his life. But he's still got the weapons. There's still Brees Hall there. Like I said, you got a good defense behind you with Sauce. You know what I mean? And they had a few other acquisitions this year. So I think it's gonna be real close. But I see Niners pulling this out. I do see them losing if Trent Williams is not signed by week 1.
There it is. The caveat. There it is.
But there's reports the whole offseason that it was looking that Williams was just looking to sit out camp, sit out the preseason, so he could just get to the season, get his money. And I think that's gonna work like that. I mean, you can't really do anything without him. The offensive line's horrible without him. So I think it'll be worked out.
Yeah. For me, look, man. Growing up as a kid, I was a big Aaron Rodgers fan. He went to Cal. Um, Obviously, I didn't watch him at Cal, but I'm saying like over the time when I got to look at his backstory, went to Cal, obviously went to the Packers, and thought he was going to be a Raider years ago, to be honest, when Derek Carr left. But it is what it is. I respecting Aaron Rodgers. He was like I said, I think for me growing up as a kid, like he was like my favorite player. Like Aaron Rodgers was like just dope to me. You know what I'm saying? So respect to A-Rod. But I think this Niners team, and this is in San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And
this is this is in SF. Yes, there's some issues with Trent Williams with the contract. Yes, there's some issues with Ayuk on the contract. There is some injury concerns. Them in the Niners in camp. We talked about Persall and Debo and stuff as well. So, but this Niners team, man, like year in year out, they get it done. From top to bottom, this is just one of the best rosters in football. Even without Trent, yes, it might get a little scary as far as that front four the Jets have with Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, and obviously, but Hassan Reddick. We don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But I think this Niners team, especially at home, week 1, yes, it's going to be exciting to see Rodgers basically officially. This is kind of like now like his first game with the Jets, because
right, like his first full game.
Yeah, because that Achilles stuff, it was just like a fluky, it was just crazy.
That was crazy.
For me, I think this is actually going to be a low scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean low scoring. Like I think we're
Like
looking at
low.
it. Yeah, I think we're looking at 16-13. Yeah, I think
I could see it. With the defenses, I could see it.
Yeah, the reason why I think it's gonna be low scoring, the defenses, and I think what's gonna happen is I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna try to. I think they're gonna start running the football with Brees Hall, because I think even majority, I think the Jets game plan this year is gonna be a lot run and throw the ball second,
Mm-hmm.
right? Run and then throw second.
For sure.
Then late in the game, I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna try to make some plays, make some throws, but I think this Niners defense is gonna, create a turnover at the end. So Yeah, I messed with Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, growing up as a kid, he was definitely my favorite football player. But this Niners team, man, they just pains for me to say, but you guys are pretty good. So
Hey man, we are
I,
pretty good.
I let the Niners pull out this week one win, but it's going to definitely be a defensive battle for sure.
16-3, you got it?
No, not 16-3, 16-13.
16-13. There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah,
yeah,
16-13.
16-3. That would be crazy.
That'd be crazy work.
That'd
Yeah,
be
no, that's
wild.
my bad. That'd be crazy work. But that's gonna wrap it up for Point After episode 6. We want to thank y'all for joining us, man. Y'all go ahead and catch us on the next episode, episode 7. In 2 weeks, this is gonna be uploaded on a Tuesday, so I hope y'all have a good week. Everything's gonna be in the description. You guys follow the social medias, interact with us, comment if anything y'all want to see. My boy Caleb, any last words, my man?
Man, we love enjoying, bringing this content to you guys. It's so fun. Just be able to
Right.
talk football and, give y'all a little sense of what we be thinking, man. Just our little opinions from time to
Just our
time.
little opinions.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Everything's objective. You know what I mean? We're not big time analysts. We're not these in depth crazy mother effers, but we are just dudes who appreciate football. We watch football just like the rest of you. Just want to give us our thoughts. Want to think we're
Yeah,
casuals? I am. But
100%. And there's a little thing too, man. Like I said, I appreciate everybody for checking us out, whether it's subscribing, sharing our content.
man,
It's much appreciated.
much appreciated, y'all. And we're gonna catch y'all in the next one. Make sure y'all tune in, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We're gonna see y'all next time, man. Peace.
Deuces.